Welcome to Kitty Unfiltered. My name is Kitty and this is Pan That Palette 2019 Update 1. I know it's not even really 2019 yet. I really just picked the palette I wanted to use a couple weeks ago, and I've been spending the past couple weeks kind of feeling it out, playing with some different combinations, seeing what I really wanted to do. And now that I've kind of decided how I want to do everything, I'm going to go ahead and show you the look I'm going to do for this month. And today is a perfect day to do this because one, I got a facial yesterday, so I'm not planning on wearing face makeup today anyway. And two, now that I have the intro part done, I have fibromyalgia and I'm a disabled veteran, which means I have a lot of bone damage. I've got a pinched nerve and a degenerating bulging disc, and I've one of my feet is like pieces and one of my feet is in pieces, and my knee, I've had surgery a couple times, and I had metal down one of my legs to hold it together for a while. So I've got some pretty major damage going on, and I am in the midst of this fibro flare that I cannot shake. I just don't have the energy. I can't think. I can't do anything, but I didn't want to get any further behind, and since it is the beginning of December and I've picked out the look I wanted to do for December, I thought I'd go ahead and just at least film the Pan That palette for this month. But man, this is a struggle, so my energy is not going to be the same, my attention to detail is not going to be the same. I'm going to look stoned most of the time, even though I don't have any drugs in my system at all right now, which I should, but I will do that after I film. But yeah, so this is just gonna be this is a real, not get ready with me, but a real get to know me, because this is my real life. Welcome to me on a day that most people don't get to see, because when I'm having a fibro flare up, I typically just crawl in bed for 3 or 4 days and I don't answer the phone or email or Facebook or anything until it's over. I just lay there and I'll turn on YouTube and just hit some sort of playlist of something and just let it play and fall asleep and wake up and take the dog out and repeat. So welcome to my life. So we're gonna try to go ahead and just knock this Pan That palette update 1 out really quick. So the palette that I have decided to pan for 2019 is the OG Naked Urban Decay, courtesy of Miss Amber F., the godmother of the Pan That palette movement. And this is what my palette looks like now. I mean, it was pretty much untouched when I started this, and like I said, I've only been working in it maybe about 10 times or so in the past 2 weeks, just trying to figure out what I want to do. And I know already that gunmetal here, this is going to be an issue for me. And since it's December and the weather's just kind of gray and crappy and nasty anyway, this color just reminds me of the weather. So I figure for December, I am going to focus on gunmetal. Now the look that I have put together to go with that, which I will show you as we're doing kind of a little get ready with me real-time eyeshadow thing, I will be using from another palette, that a companion palette to the Naked palette. I'm using the Lorac Pro palette, since the original Naked palette only has 2 mattes in it. This one has a whole nice little row of mattes. So I'll be dipping into here for mattes, and then some other colors as needed. But I will be using the white and the black, so kind of the opposite ends of the spectrum in here. And then in Naked, I will be using, what did I do? Sin, Naked, and Buck, obviously, because those are my 2 matte colors. And of course, gunmetal! And you know what? Let's just go ahead and get started, because like I said, I don't have the energy to be entertaining right now. I just don't. It's not in me. I'm really just filming this today because I didn't want to wait any longer. It's already December 3rd and I've put this off as long as I care to. So I'm going to start by taking a NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk and using that kind of under my brow and on my inner corner to set that. And I don't even have, like, I haven't put on any primer or powder or anything. Like I said, I had a facial yesterday, came home, went straight to bed, and have not done anything with my face since then. So there's no extra moisturizer or anything. This is just straight up from yesterday. I'm just waking up and putting this on because as soon as I get done filming this, I'm probably just gonna wash my face, take a hot bath, see if that helps me feel a little better, and drink about a half a gallon of water and go right back to bed after I take some pain meds. Fibromyalgia is not fun. It's not so much the pain. I mean, of course the pain is horrible, but it's just having chronic pain, if you haven't had it before, it's just exhausting. I mean, it's just, I compare it to like having like a semi truck, like in the morning, it's like I have an entire semi on my chest. I don't even have the energy to sit up. Like when I try to sit up, I barely move a fraction of an inch. That semi's just weighing me down. It's like you can't even get out of bed. This is a MAC paint pot in Stormy Pink. It's just a, I don't know, kind of a muddy pinky taupey color. Just to kind of give the sin a little extra oomph. I figured I'd probably need a little, besides just being gray and brown. I figured having a little light pink base would probably help this not look quite as crappy as the actual weather. Well, I mean, I hope it doesn't look crappy anyway, but you know what I mean. Hope it doesn't look as, as dreary as the actual weather. But so Saturday on the 1st, so 2 days ago, I was in a parade in Northeast Maryland for Cecil TV. It's a local TV station that I work with. And my car is a convertible and it's green, and since everything was supposed to be kind of holiday themed, we just took my car and put some Cecil TV decals on it and some tinsel and stuff, and then we all wore, like the people who were in it wore like, you know, ugly Christmas sweaters and ties and stocking hats and that kind of stuff. And that was kind of our float. But so I was outside for like 3 hours sitting in the cold because Mike, another guy who works there, he built this really cool like kind of looked like an old-fashioned TV camera. So that was actually in the passenger side seat. And then Rob and Allison, two of the other people there, they were sitting in the back, and of course I was driving because it was my car. But because once the camera was in there, you couldn't put the top down. So we sat there from a little after 11 until almost 12:15 before we actually started moving, because it didn't start until 12 and we were towards the like middle to end. You know, these Get Ready With Me's, they work because people actually put on their shadow while they're talking. I'm not doing that good a job of that, am I? I seem to be able to only do one or the other. Alright, I'm just going into that Lorac palette, getting some white. Let's throw this on while I talk, shall we? So anyway, that really cool old-fashioned looking camera was in my passenger seat, so we couldn't put the convertible top up, and it was very, very cold, and the wind was blowing. So we sat there, like in the car with the windows up before we started moving. And, you know, tried to at least keep as warm as possible. I mean, I had a heated seat in the front, so I was fine. But so we sat there, and fibromyalgia, well, I've always been kind of sensitive to cold anyway. I've never been good with cold weather. And anytime I'd get really cold, like my middle of my back would hurt, kind of. And like I would just start shivering so bad that that would hurt. And then with fibromyalgia, I'm even more sensitive to the cold. And now that I have a pinched nerve, and then I was there for, like I said, we had to put the top down at 11. The parade didn't start until like noon. So maybe it was only like 2 hours, 2.5 hours maybe, before we got to, no, because we had to take the camera out. I'm getting sidetracked again, and I'm still doing the thing where I'm just talking and waving my hands around instead of actually trying to put on any makeup. I'm so special. Alright, I'm going to put Naked everywhere that I didn't put the white. That's what we're doing. Naked from the Naked palette. That's all we're doing. So anyway, so basically I'm setting that pink down with it. Moral of the story is I spent about 2.5 hours just out in the cold. And of course I've got this pinched nerve now that I've been trying to deal with. And it's just cold and nasty. So it triggered a fibro flare up. And that's just kind of where I'm stuck at now, where it's just, you know, trying to get over that and be a productive member of society. I actually had to work yesterday, and that of course did not work so well. I'm gonna take Buck and let's see what I want to do. I need a little help because my eye is very hooded, so I don't have much of a crease. All right, so I'm gonna take Buck, and instead of just putting it all the way in the crease, here, let me bring this in. I'm going to kind of etch out like a little, kind of like a cut crease almost with it. This is a real-time eyeshadow application is what I'm going to call this video, because it's like a get ready with me, but we're not doing the full face. But I'm not going to fast forward through anything. I'm just going to kind of, so you can see how long it actually would take me to do this kind of look. But so anyway, yeah, so I worked yesterday, and you know, thankfully, come on camera, focus. I do have a note from my doctor at the VA that I can wear tennis shoes as needed, and since I already started off yesterday with a little bit of a fibro flare-up, it wasn't full-blown yet, and I took a bunch of drugs and kind of knocked it back for a bit. But then once I got home yesterday, and the longer I sat around, and just the worse it got. So yeah, I'm kind of in full-blown flare-up mode now, which is weird because I haven't. Okay, now that I've sat down naked, I'm just going to take Sin on this kind of little paddly brush and just kind of pat it over my eye up to like this first part here, and just go up to that kind of fake crease I just created. Anywho, see, every time I have to stop, I get confused and I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't do this one get ready with me style. Nah, I've already started. Let's just go ahead and roll with it. See, no, this is good because then you guys can see what it's really like. A day in the life of someone who, I'm actually a very smart person, but with the fibromyalgia, I just instantly become an idiot because I cannot keep thoughts together. I can't multitask. I can't even remember what I was saying before I went to put the Sin on my eye. I don't know what I'm doing. And that's what it's like. That's what, oh, I was saying I haven't had a full-blown, like, I've had some minor fibro attacks, but this is the first full-blown one I've had in a long time. And I think it's just because I started working and I have that pinched nerve, and then I spent that time in the cold. So, you know, I thought I was going to be able to have a part-time job, but obviously my body's telling me that we don't even want you to have that. But I really enjoy my job. So hopefully, I mean, I did go back to the doctor. I kind of got in like for an emergency little triage thing. When I told them, you know, I was kind of, you know, my back was getting worse, I was having a flare up, that's when we discovered that I actually had a pinched nerve now. So that's just been, I found out within the last week that I have that. So I've got some new drugs. They make me really sleepy, and I kind of wanted to knock this out really quick before I crawled back in bed for a couple days. So that's why I haven't taken anything today. And see, and that's just kind of the basic. It's a little pinky here, it's a little gray there, so it's a little, you know, it's a little dreary and gray because of the weather, but it's got the little pink to kind of balance it out a little. And then to give it a little definition, I just go in with that Lorac black eyeshadow and kind of sketch it out a little. Now, if I was really getting into this, what I would do is I would go in and clean up the outside here, and then, you know, kind of make it a little sharper, because I do have a tendency, because my skin is very saggy here, I do my eyeshadow, it looks like it's all nice and smooth, and then I open my eye and all of a sudden this is shifted down here, so where it looks like it's nice straight line here, then I open my eye and it's all of a sudden down here, and then it doesn't match up with my lower lash line at all. So like I said, if I was actually trying to get ready, I would go in and clean this up and like finish my face before I put on the black, because then I could just put the black to kind of give it a little shape here, and then I'd use that to match it up with the underneath here. But since this is really just more of a let's slap on eyeshadow and show you the look I'm going to be wearing for the week. Oh, drop the brush. And all I'm going to do after this is wash my face anyway. Yeah, I'm not too worried about making it too pretty. It's just kind of showing you what I am going to be working on. But so I discovered in my 2 weeks of just playing around with this palette, trying to decide what I wanted to do with it, that I do need to, you know, Amber F, you know, she always did the thing about where she suggested panning a look. And I think at least to get this started, I am going to have to do that because there's just so many colors and I don't even have a dip in anything. And it already feels a little overwhelming. So, let's just take this and blend this out a little. Since it already feels a little overwhelming, I'm like, you know what? Yes, first of all, panning a look would be a good idea. Secondly, it gives me a look that kind of goes with the season. And third, it gets me, you know, kind of double down on this gunmetal early because I know if I don't start now, I'm going to be left with nothing but this gunmetal towards the end because it's like the one really only cool shade in the palette. Okay, that's kind of, and then of course I'll have, like I said, it'll be cleaned up a little, and then I would have like brows and lashes and all of that. But that's just kind of what my basic look is going to be for this month. But anyway, back to the idea of actually panning a look. Yeah, it's going to really help me because I don't want to get down to have just gunmetal be that last color. So anyway, that's what we're doing. So my goals for the month, I don't really know. Because I don't know how long it'll take to get through any of this. And I've got to stop looking at the viewfinder. I'm doing it again. I guess ideally my goal would be to hit pan in every shade, but I don't think that's feasible. Like we'll just do the Lorac Pro first because this one's easier to guess. I'm pretty sure I can hit, even though I'm just using it to set like the milk, what is it? The NYX Jumbo Eyeshadow in Milk on my brow in the inner corner. It's a very shallow pan and it's very crumbly, so I'm pretty sure I can hit pan in white. Black, I don't know. I mean, with most colors, I kind of tend to use the entire surface. I don't kind of concentrate in one spot. But since it's a little, I would just be using like kind of a little pointy brush like this, if you can see it here. Oh yeah, let's hold it on a black ground. That makes it easier to see. But anyway, see how it's kind of a little pointed there. So there is a chance that I might be able to hit pan in black just because I'm using a little small tip brush. I doubt it. Pretty sure I'm going to hit pan in white. Maybe I'll hit pan in black. Possibility, I don't know. It'll be a pleasant surprise. As far as the colors I'm going to be using in the Naked palette, so let me show you how I use this first of all. So for the color Naked, I usually go clear across the top with like this big kind of fluffy brush, but for this, since I'm trying to get in there and hit pan, I'll probably just be going over the kind of top half with it. Naked, I don't see myself hitting pan because again, I'll be using a smaller brush like this little one that I'm using for the black. So I'll kind of just be concentrating it more at the upper part, but I will not hit pan. I don't see in Buck. I don't see myself hitting pan in Buck. Possibility hitting pan in Naked because I'm kind of just using this little spot here. But if I wasn't panning the palette, I would be using like the whole thing because I tend to take off an even layer. I don't tend to concentrate in just one spot. So that's one thing I'm going to try to work on just so I can actually kind of get down to pan. Because otherwise I'm going to feel like I'm not making any progress at all and I'm going to want to give up. But so Naked, there's a possibility. Buck, at least I'll be using that little brush. Probably no possibility. And then for the other two colors in here, I'll be using kind of a flat brush like this. I'll be using like this side for Sin and that side for Gunmetal. Again, what I would normally do when I put this on is I would just hold this brush flat. I would just go kind of back and forth across the whole surface. But because we're trying to pan this, I'll be doing the same thing like with Naked where I just do kind of the top part. And then the same thing with Gunmetal. Normally I would take this flat up and down across the whole thing, but I'm going to be kind of just concentrating at the top. So I hope to hit pan in Sin, Naked, Gunmetal, white, and maybe possibly black. I don't honestly know that I'm going to hit pan in anything though, except white. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can hit pan in white, but the rest of this stuff, I don't even know if I'll hit pan at all. So I don't know, since all of these palettes are pretty much brand new. I don't know. I don't know, you know? I don't know. I don't even know what to say. That I'm gonna use all those colors and just gonna repeatedly use kind of the same brush in the same spot, the same technique, and see what happens. I'm not really feeling confident that I'm hoping to at least be able to see dips. Maybe that's just my goal for next month, is that you will be able to see dips and everything and be able to tell that I've been using it. How about that for my goal? Except maybe Buck, because I don't even see you being able to tell that I've used Buck as little as I use it. But anyway, that's my Pan That palette, disorganized, how my brain works with fibromyalgia update 1. And I'm going to go wash my face and see if Trinket wants to go to the bathroom again, even though it's only been 2 hours, because I think I want to go take another nap, and I might not wake up for 8 hours, and I don't want her stuck inside that whole time without going to the bathroom. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Sorry, this has been just kind of a bummer of a deal, but hey, hopefully the next one will actually be kind of entertaining, and that I won't be giving myself a headache just trying to smile and pretend everything's okay. And my dog's chewing on an antler and it's about to give me a migraine, so I have to go. Bye!